What is happening here?
I'm using the chain to pull those posts out.
There's got to be a better way than this. Not flexible, but it'll do what I need it to do instead of screwing around with this giant hook that doesn't latch onto the... A hum.
Far enough. If I get my chainsaw, I can cut that at the stump and pull it out. That's what's holding me is this tree. The tree needs to go anyhow. Chainsaw wasn't sharp, so oh my goodness. How does this got so much weight? I can't even get underneath it. It's gonna have to just stay there until I can get the trailer. Oh, the thing's like 300 pounds. Oh man, that wore me out just trying to lift it. The dogs are inside the car, inside the 4Runner, with big eyes, like the world's about to end, because they keep boom. But I'd rather have them inside the truck than roaming around, because they like to hover around the backside of my truck. They think I'm gonna leave them, so they hover. They don't want to go too far. So it's better to just put them in the truck. And they'll be a little jumpy for a while.
Are you sure that's the right tool for this?
Of course, there's metal everywhere. And I always find it with my saw. Oh, look at that. He discarded a shovel. I think that old TV's been there for a while. It's got trees growing in it. Ha! Gold Star. VR 216. Made in Korea. I don't see a date on it. No date. Man, that's been there for a while. Man, I nearly opened up the last stretch to finish this off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 posts to finish this one side. That's pretty good because everything else is just all this little stuff. And then there might be 1 or 2 good-sized trees I need my chainsaw for. But that's not bad. I mean, I've got almost one whole side ready to be cleared out. That spinny death blade has been the most useful tool for all this little stuff on the ground. Of course, my pole saw, I can't do this job without the pole saw. Stuff is just too high to reach otherwise. You need the right set of tools, man. That pole saw, the spinny death, and the chainsaw. I can't get to the other post because there's a 2.5 foot stack of sheetrock that's been there for decades. And I can't get through that. I'm gonna have to clear a path behind it and come in straight with it instead of perpendicular. Don't take long, become a sweaty bomb. Okay, I'm almost cleared out to the point where I can get the rest of these things, these railroad ties. I can actually come in from this direction instead of trying to come over behind this huge stack of sheetrock that's been sitting here for decades. I found more tires. There's a pile of 3. There's a huge pile of like 12 down there. There's one big massive tractor tire right out there. Hopefully code enforcement does their thing and they get cleaned up. Meanwhile, just beyond my fence line, I also found another tube television, Johnny, and a steering wheel. Oh, there's another giant pull-out couch or something. A whole bunch of metal coils sitting there. Too heavy to even move. I'll have to hook onto it with it's right in here. Hook onto it with my chain, pull it out. Of course, as I'm clearing, I found the mega stash of concrete. So we'll get all this picked up at some point here and taken to the recycling. Fortunately, it's free to get rid of that. I'll pick up these loose pieces here and pile them all together so I can safely drive through. It looks like a random mix of metals. Yeah, whatever this is metal. This tiny little thin strand of something. Old grill. Some metal strapping. Old fence posts. And a mattress. Why not take it to the recycling place? You're getting paid.
kind of snake it is.
He's a milk snake.
A milk snake?
Uh-huh.
Does he drink milk?
No.
Is he poisonous?
No.
No.
Oh wait, ant. You just couldn't let me help you?
No. What's that?
You just couldn't let me help you?
Right.
You had to look like you were all tough.
That guy was all manly.
You're getting tied up in me. Look at all the ants.
Jeez, there's just so many of them.
We were gonna move it to the pile, but that's gonna have to wait.
just got rid of a massive load of brick, concrete. Now I'm gonna get rid of all these railroad ties and this weird karate thing. All right, we should be good for the highway. Let's do it. All right, I'd really like to get rid of this Widowmaker. It's like a giant log just caught in this tiny little tree right here. I guess I cut too close to the tree, maybe. I'll get my wedge down in there. Briggs is all the way over, as far as he can get, barking at the excavator across the street. If he saw a brontosaurus, he'd try to bite it.
Does it taste like donkey?
Briggs, you're stupid. I just got done trimming off these branches that were hanging over this mobile home. And now I need to take this tree down so that it doesn't pose a future threat. And I don't want it to hit the mobile home. So I've got a rope tied up top, down to the chain, tied to the forerunner. And I'm gonna very carefully wedge this thing out of here. All right, I hit the corner, just barely. I'll take it. Because it didn't damage the building. I'm happy with that. Man, I pulled that down with just this much gone. And just a tiny little piece out of here. And I snapped that with my forerunner. All right, that was a pain in the neck, but it's done. Chopping this thing up was... Look at the curvature on that tree. It does a complete 90-degree bend right over the top of that mobile home. That's why I had to get it out of here. That thing would have just smashed it to pieces. All right, this big massive tree that's already leaning will destroy my fence. So I'm taking it down now. My Echo saw with a 20-inch blade, it'll do the trick. All right, let's get to it. that nice. I can even hit it hard. Just snap the head off. And there it is. A big old tree for that little saw. I should have had my 24-inch bar on there. That would have made it a little bit easier. I don't have a chain for it right now. Look at all that wood. It's crazy. One big massive pine tree right here at the end. And then a whole bunch of hardwoods. Look at all that. It's no wonder I lost weight. That's quite a pile. I'm gonna be burning for days to try to get rid of that thing. I cleared at least 20 feet of woods because my fence line was over here and you couldn't see it when I got started. So I had to clear up to it and then clear into it. How many trees do you think I took down? I can't even count them all. There's at least 30 trees, all pretty close to this size here. And then there's a couple really big boys. A couple big boys over there. That pine tree was massive. That one tree that was hanging right over the top of the mobile home, ready to smash. All right, my fence line's gonna go straight down there, set back just a little bit. And then this way, you can't really see the marker down there, but it's down there. There it is there. So I got pretty much a clear shot on this side. I don't know what to do with these giant vines. I can't pull them down, but they're huge. I wanted to take more of these trees down, but I just ran out of steam and time. I need to get this thing done. This one's not too bad. I think it's gonna be alive for a long time. But this one here just leaned right out over the property and had to get rid of it. The big pine, that thing was just like this. And I didn't want to have to deal with it and worry about it. Plus it was right on my line, my fence line. Massive wedge. There's an old rotted thing. That's why you gotta get rid of those rotten trees. Fall right down and break stuff. All right, we get this all cleared out and new fence put up. We should be good to go. Some old mangled fence with trees growing inside of it. I'm gonna have to burn that just to get it free and take it back. More of the same. Little by little, getting rid of all this trash. Lots of metal to take back still. Debating on whether or not I want to make another run today and get rid of this pile. Ever-growing pile of junk. Yeah. Hi. Hi, puppies. Yeah. Little puppy huddle.